What's up, everybody? Hi, Bailey here. I totally blew it this week when we were on stream, messed up the audio dials. To start off this episode, I want to give you a quick content warning. We're talking about some serious stuff this episode, so I definitely blew it by not having the audio. We're going to be talking about violence against women in the media, so I hope you're ready. We're going to start off by talking about the topical topic of that Twitch streamer who was caught live being abusive to the sister of his fiance, if I'm correct. Raza will lead you off. I'm sorry for that confusion. It's always me. My bad. At least we got good production quality here, you know?
Like, and stuff like that too. Yeah.
So did you see the full clip, Raza?
No, I saw the stuff leading, like the other stuff, like leading up to it, like him asking for a beer and her saying no or something, and then him getting really abusive and stuff. That's what I saw.
So basically they were arguing about something, and she was basically like, "I'm not your slave. Like, I'm not doing that for you, do it yourself." But I will say, and this is in no way a defense for him, but I just want to make note because context matters. He was clearly already a little bit drunk, I think. He had been drinking beforehand or during the altercation. And so he had said to her, like, "Go get my beer. Like, it's right outside. Go get it for me." Basically, like, telling her to go and do something for him. Yeah. And so she had a paper in her hand. And I'm sure if you guys have ever been in a relationship with a woman or even with around your mother, she took the paper and, like, slapped him in the shoulder with it, which I'm sure you guys have all experienced that before. And she was like, "No, I'm not your slave. Like, I'm not doing that." And then he makes a comment, which is very important. He says, "If I'm going to keep viewers, you need to get out of here." So basically he's making an under his breath threat. And then they continue to argue, and he grabs the stream camera and pushes it towards another corner of the room, proceeds to hit her because you can hear the audible thumps and slaps. And then he moves the camera back. And she's crying, obviously, because she's just gotten beaten up. And then his sister comes in the room and he tells her to take the camera. She goes into another room. Yeah. Then she goes into another room and she starts filming like a room tour. She's trying really hard to be like quirky and like try and push past it. And people are like, "Oh, we can hear noises in the back," because you can hear him audibly like yelling and thumping her. And then he basically, like, the stream was shut down, I think, like almost immediately, and he was banned like immediately. Yeah. And then he did make a statement afterwards, basically saying like, "Yeah, I did it, but like it's not like what you think it is." It's like, no, you hit your girlfriend. Yeah, you hit your girlfriend, and then you made all your social media private. Please, sir, make your social media unprivate. I would like to have some words.
and the other part is that his career was just starting. Like, he was just getting the views, just starting to get the numbers up, and people were actually paying attention to him. He could have been like the next ninja. Now his career because he couldn't keep himself cool.
Yeah. I think the most notable part of that is the fact that, like, he literally said to her, "If I'm gonna keep viewers, you need to get out of the room." Like,
that's the scary part. That's like, if I had somebody, like, again, like, Rose is a perfect boyfriend. If I had like one of my the girl that I'm seeing, if I had her and stuff, I'd be like, "Yo, show yourself. All right, these people want to see you." So I would be celebrating my partner. On top of this platform. I don't know about you guys, but I would.
Yeah.
Like, I agree, and but it's what scares me about it is even like the subtlety of the subtext of saying like he shouldn't have lost it, right, Raza? Like, I think the grosser thing is that clearly this human was hiding the fact that they're an abusive piece of shit, right? So it's like, what is the scarier question for me is like, especially with the interwebs now, and you have a new celebrity or a streamer coming up, how do you know that they're not another version of him?
You don't. You don't until like the David Dobrik thing happens. It has to happen that way. It can't happen any other. There isn't any there isn't any checklist that.
Yeah, I think I think so this issue is a big issue, right? But I will say that I'm genuinely shocked. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm genuinely shocked that Twitch acted as fast as they did, because I've watched them let multiple things slide that they should have acted immediately on, and they haven't. Like, there has been animal abuse on this platform.
Yes, yeah.
And they don't do anything about it. And not that I'm saying like one is worse than the other, because if you ask me, they're both equally a problem. So I'm glad that they at least acted quickly on this situation. But I do genuinely believe that there must have been other signs that something like this was going on. Yeah. Because when I was reading more into things, and now I'm just going to say allegedly, because I don't have the like core facts, and I can't sit here. Allegedly. Yeah, I can't give you some sightings or whatever, but allegedly there are some sexual allegations against him as well.
Yeah, I read that too. Yeah,
people. Yeah. So
there's a history there. It's like, and you see that this in abusive relationships all the time, right? They're like the one who's being abused oftentimes doesn't see that they're being abused. They can't see that because they're too invested in said relationship. So like, I feel like this whole stream thing, hopefully she ended things with him, because now there's things.
Well, so I don't. Yeah, so I don't know if you guys remember Periscope.
Yes.
Yeah. So on Twitter, Periscope was like a whole thing, right?
Yeah.
There was a guy and his girlfriend on Periscope, and he was putting her through basically emotional abuse, like online, like using the emotional abuse for views. And I wish I could remember his name, and I wish that I had like got this information for you guys ahead of time, but I will give it to you afterwards so you can look at it. But he was literally using like their toxic relationship and like their abuse with each other to like create views. And for the longest time, he could not get banned because people were like, well, there's no physical abuse, but you could see like bruises all over her. She was malnourished. She was clearly afraid of him, but like the platform wouldn't do anything about it. He was like making money with GoFundMe's and crazy stuff like that. And it's like, how are we like at that point in the internet where like this stuff goes on?
Yeah, it's just like there's this YouTuber, his name is Steven Crowder, I believe. He's like he's an anti-trans activist, and he's like he's like
so totally gross.
Yeah, he's like, I watched one of his podcasts. He's always wearing a gun holster for some, I don't know why.
Gross.
No gun. Vomit. But yeah, so his YouTube channel got shut down for the third time in like the last couple years. Now he's apparently it's coming back. YouTube, what from likes? I feel like YouTube doesn't see this shit. They're like, this channel is bringing high views, therefore high revenue for us, more ads for us, more stuff. So even Twitter, his Twitter account just got reinstated like a couple of days ago. So it's just like these platforms, like, I feel it's maybe kind of edgy of me to say, but these platforms do like these type of users where they're constantly like.
You are absolutely not wrong.
Yeah, okay, and like my segue is look at those fucking scummy pickup artists, you know, right?
Because look at those stupid prank videos where the men are like abusively pranking their girlfriends. Like,
yo, sorry, top of my ADD brain, I'm gonna forget.
Showed me a really good video
I seen a TikTok today. It blew my fucking mind because it was some workout bro in an elevator, right? It was still faked, but either way, it's like, you thought this was good content. The dude's jacked, and so he's standing in the elevator and he flexes out of his shirt with just a random girl in the elevator with him. And the girl was literally like banging on the elevator door to like get the fuck out. And it's like got motivational music and it's trying to play it like, oh, look at this, bro. It was like, I feel sick. I feel sick looking at this.
I sometimes I think men are so disconnected. It's like, okay, on TikTok, right? Because you know how men are always like, the thing that men that always say is like, it's not all men. Yeah. Okay, but ask yourself, right? But ask yourself as a man, why is it that when your girlfriend walks home at night from your apartment, why do you tell her to be safe? Who are you afraid of? Are you afraid of another girl? Are you afraid of a kid or a cat? Or are you afraid of another man taking advantage of your girlfriend late at night walking home in the dark? Because I know that's what it is. So it's like when you sit there and say, not all men, but you know that there is an issue with men. So it's like that not all men argument is so like stupid. Like, stop saying it and start holding each other accountable. Like, as men, like when you know these things are going on, hold each other accountable. It's like the same thing with the David Dobrik situation. They all knew Dom was a dirty Dom. It's like, hello, that's literally the name you guys gave him. But nobody ever held him accountable for his actions. They all just were like, oh, it's funny. Let's use it for humor and like.
It's because content. Content. Stuff like that.
And the content loves abuse, you know? It gets the views in many different ways because then people click, people interact. So social media perpetuates this shit because the more negative it is, the more people are going to interact with the content. So it just keeps perpetuating this shitty cycle, right?
Am I optimist to think that it's slowly changing? And like, I personally have seen some of the change, especially with Twitch and stuff. But again, I'm saying this with cautious optimism and stuff like that. So don't dogpile on me that much, please.
No, I'm not gonna. No, because you know what, Raza, I can agree. I think that men are starting to. I think, especially on TikTok, I'm finding that a lot more men on TikTok are willing to like stand up for women and call out other men and be more aggressive about holding men to a higher standard and like making them take accountability, right? But it's not on all forms of social media. And I think because TikTok is that weird niche community where it's like, it's a bit of a much younger generation, and they just have a different ideology. The older people do, right? And I think I am just as guilty. Like, I hate these prank videos where guys are like pranking their girlfriends horribly. But I'm not gonna lie to you, I watched them because at one point in time, that was the current media for me. We all watched boyfriend versus girlfriend prank videos, and what he did to her was extremely emotionally abusive. Yeah. But when you look back at it at that time, you were like, it's funny.
I'm cautiously optimistic. Sorry, go.
No, I'm just gonna listen. The one prank I think about all the time, which I didn't watch this video when it came out, but I've since seen it because there's been some alleged abuse things coming out where they think that he was abusing her, which I'm not going to get into because that's an allegation. That's just giving context as to why I've seen this video. But he pranked her by pretending to throw her kitten out the window. And like he made it so believable. Like, she literally had a full mental breakdown on video, and he was like, content, perfect, beautiful, upload, edit, post it, yes, internet, need this.
I think there's a sickness from people who like laugh at that. Like, and it's just like because like I feel like I was this documentary years ago, and it's like people like that don't have like. They did a study. They don't have their brain works in a different way than a normal person. It's more like it's one side of the brain is more active than the other side, whereas normal people, it's the entire brain is working at all cylinders.
Well, I think it's for some reason human nature is just like stand and stare. I just feel like it's just what people have always done, is they just kind of like, they just watch other people's like sadness and like things happening to other people. And it's like, I've never understood that, because I'm a fight or flight person. Last summer, I mean, COVID has been hard for everyone, right? And last summer, I watched a guy literally drag his little sister across the road by her hair. And he actually turned to me, because I literally, like, I dropped my stuff. I was with my mom and we were walking the dogs. And I basically just like handed everything to my mom and I started to run in that direction. And I was yelling at him. I was like, let her go. Like, I don't know who you think you are. Like, and his response to me was, to make it okay, his response to me was, it's my little sister. And I was like, I don't care. Like, I was like, we're throwing down in this road right now. Like, I'm taking you out. Like, but it's like, there's no excuse for that. But there's somebody's always willing to make a connection or excuse. It's like, oh, it's a YouTube video, it's for content, or it's a prank channel. Like, no
one got hurt. Yeah, it's a social experiment. It's just like, it's like Sam something YouTuber.
Oh my god! Stupid fart bag. Yeah,
he's English. Yeah, he's English, and his last one prank that he killed is he pranked his friend that he got killed.
He had like he had it set up like that he was being kidnapped and executed is what he did to his best friend. Literally made his best friend pee his pants. Like, it was horrifying. But not only that guy made his career off doing small videos of him literally like sexually assaulting women.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like,
isn't it?
Are you kidding me?
I'm glad his career is done. I'm glad.
Oh yes, goodbye. Don't even say his last name. Like, nobody look that guy up. He's a loser.
I don't know. I forget his last name. So
I do.
I don't remember.
Oh wait,
it's okay.
Don't say it, Raza.
So I'm like,
I know it. I got it.
I'm in the middle ground of like, I'm cautiously optimistic in sort of a same way, in that I think the internet will find its corners where positivity will be perpetuated and this shit won't just continue getting worse. But I think with each generation, each new TikTok, each new platform that comes out, you're going to see rumblings of this bullshit somewhere within it.
Well, but I think even like, you two guys are good boys. You guys are having this conversation. You're addressing it. You're dealing with it. Like, you're not afraid to, like, you guys are not afraid to have that conversation. And especially like with me, because you guys know exactly how I feel about women's rights and like how women are treated in the media and just in life in general. And like, it takes some pretty big balls to like sit here, have this conversation, look at yourselves objectively, and also look at like the gender in general objectively. And that's part of the movement, right? That's part of the importance. Because if you guys had said like, oh, we never want to address this topic, then we could have never addressed it. But you guys both were like, yo, like, let's talk about it. It's happening right now. A guy just, hit his girlfriend on live.
Can I be clear,
and you guys are like, let's talk about it. Let's call out the things. And that's what's going to change media. Yes.
Wine Mom is saying you guys, clearly just me who pitched this idea and said,
yes.
It is me who cares.
Almighty woke Raza trying to redeem himself for all the sins he's committed in the Twitter sphere. All right, sorry. You are a saint. You are ordained.
Yes.
No, but Bailey, keep on. I'm kidding.
You can now put ally in your bio.
No.
No, but I can genuinely say, like, I think that, like, for me, like, I'm excited for your content moving forward and your progress in this industry, because I can trust because I can trust that you guys respect equally. Like, you guys have I don't want to say you guys take a moral high ground, because that sounds so cheesy, but like, but you guys do hold yourselves accountable and to a different standard, right? That's my point. Like, I feel comfortable.
Sure, yeah, why not? Let's go with that. Let's go with what
I do.
My point is,
we love you.
Yes. No, but my point is like, I know that I could message either of you and air my grievances, and I won't get the response, not all men. I know.
I'm gonna start doing that.
No, you won't, because you know better. But I know that like you guys will have a dynamic conversation with me, and you guys want to understand my opinion and like why I feel the way that I feel. I know that I can talk to you guys about that. I think that's what's going to make a difference in media moving forward, is we need people who are willing to have those conversations, as uncomfortable as they are,
and not be scared of like talking about change, talking about
Right.
things that should be talked about, like being a brown boy, Pakistan. This whole thing is like, why are we talking about it? It doesn't matter. Women are women, right? So like my mom and I are watching this Pakistani drama. It's one of the first ones to be funded by a women's advocacy group. God damn, stutter. Jesus Christ.
Got it.
And it's like the story. This series has like 3 storylines. One, it's the women's group tackles a bunch of issues, not just women's, but children, child labor, LGBTQ thing, which is now becoming a prominent thing in Pakistan, which I'm glad now. But these, like, one storyline is this kid who's poor. He's working as a servant in a house. He comes from a village, and the house people treat him bad and stuff. And the other storyline is like a bunch of prostitutes trying to escape this. Like, this one prostitute is trying to help these others girls trying to leave this house, and this other story is about these girls trying to I think it's trying out for a cricket team or cheerlead, or becoming cheerlead.
Right.
And the theme is about how the men, they're so afraid of men that they have to do all these things in secret, except for the kid. The kid story is like supposed to be showing Pakistan's cultural shift, going towards like maybe we should stop treating poor people like poor people. Maybe we should start treating them like people. So like in India, in Pakistani, in Indian like pop culture, you will see that the woman is getting the shit kicked out of her just for smiling and like wanting to marry somebody different, not by just her husband, but by her mother, by her mother-in-law, by her brother, by her brother-in-law, by her dad, by her father-in-law. Meanwhile, the boy he's just like crying to his mom and telling her, look what she did stuff. I know in my family, it's nothing like that. If I did that, my mom her foot would be so far up my ass. She'd be like, why are you talking to her like that? I taught you better. And she did.
Yeah.
So then I have an interesting question. I have in relation to media that the wine mom here will be familiar with alongside you, Raza. Considering the cultural topic there, as Bollywood and Indian culture becomes more prominent in media for both like mainstream film and TikTok, like seriously, is like, do you think that the negative cultural stereotypes against women and to be blunt, the amount of violence against women that occurs in India, like, do you think that will have a negative impact?
The change
you're saying you're watching in the media, this is happening in Indian and Pakistani media, and as that's becoming more prominent in Western media, do you think we'll bring another wave of that being okay in a bad way?
Yes and no. It's because like men in India are. I'm starting to think men in India are becoming slowly more brave now. Like these abuse charges, these sexual assault cases are like still prevalent, but now when they happen, the whole world is on the whole world is watching cases. Whereas in the 90s and early 2000s, be just internal things and it wouldn't be solved. But now there's international pressure. So I think there could be a change, but the Indian youth is very different than us. They're very different. They're sort of like, they're slowly becoming westernized. They're slowly, well, not westernized. That's a bad word to use. They're slowly becoming
but their
progressive.
opinions are changing. Yeah, they're starting to see outside options. It's like the whole like there's always a movie that comes out that has to do with like arranged marriages, right? And I don't know how 100% popular that really truly is or has been.
So it's been like, it's like now a old way of doing shit now. Since the last like 20-30 years, it still happens, but nothing like it. If you go to the villages and stuff like that, it's prominent there. But then the upper class, the middle and upper class people, they don't do it. Like my cousins aren't arranged marriage. For sure, parents aren't. But it's just that whole thing is like women. Like the reason why arranged marriages are becoming less and less is because now women are now taking charge of what they want.
That's what I was gonna say, right? I think these older, what I think is that these parents who were forced into these relationships and marriages that didn't work are like, I don't want that for my children, and so that's why these things are starting to like make a shift, which I think is amazing, because I do remember being friends with a couple of girls when I was younger, and I remember their parents pushing them and discussing about an arranged marriage. And as far as I know now, they're both in relationships with men that they have chosen, and one is married with a man that she had chosen. And I think like they spent enough time in Canada, and I think they started to realize that their children wanted something different based on the people that they were growing up around, and so the dynamic started to change, right? Which I think is great, but it's not always the case, right? Yeah,
like it's like what was it like when I turned like on my like this recent birthday. Now the new thing is me getting married now. If I was born 20 years before, they were like, we have a girl waiting for you, her name is this, here's a picture, you're gonna meet her and stuff. That would have been it. But now now they just want us to get hitched. That's it. They don't care who it is. Right. They want us to get married and shit.
So like, I'll say when I was working at my previous salon, there was a couple men from Pakistan and from like other different countries, like Egypt and stuff. And they would talk to me because I asked them, you know, they're married, and I'd be like, oh, so like, how did you meet your wife? And like, I was just curious because they were younger and married. And so I just wanted to like hear their dynamic. And they would talk about their parents. Like one guy was into the whole arranged thing. He was like, I don't have to put in any effort. My mom and my dad picked a woman. Yeah. She's beautiful. I get to have her. I'm great. And then another guy was like, I couldn't do it. I hated her. She was annoying. I just wanted to meet somebody on my own. And then I ended up getting married when I went traveling. And, you know, he's still married within his own culture, but it was just like, it was his opportunity to like step outside and meet someone and be with somebody that he chose to be with. And so I see both sides, but I also think about like in the situation where he was like, I don't have to do any work. The woman's just is available to me. I'm like, but what about her? Like, what if she doesn't like you? And now you're in this
from what I I don't know how it was after that, because the whole way that they did it changed twice. The old days, they would set you up at a young age. They'd be like, this is who you're going to marry. Turn so and so, right? And then you're gonna meet them so many times throughout your teenager life and your kid life to get used to it, or hopefully to get you used to each other. When you're or something, then y'all know each other and bang. But then it changed where it's just like my uncle, for example. Oh, this is gonna get fucked. I don't want to say that, but like I have
getting personal on stream.
I have family members, old family members who have done it the traditional way, and they're okay now. But the weird argument is that I've seen people say arranged marriages in Islam have a low divorce rate. But then at the same time, I kind of looked into it. I was like, I didn't say anything to these people. In Islam, I don't want to say if this is accurate, but in Islam, divorce isn't really a thing. Like, it isn't like allowed.
Well,
So-
I was gonna say
like-
low divorce rate but high infidelity.
Yeah, it's like Catholicism, right?
Yeah.
Like, not many Catholics are getting divorced, but I bet you there ain't many fucking happy Catholics in their marriage.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's the thing about our culture is that they want the whole reason to get married is to have kids, is to force
Right.
them to have kids. So there is baby making going on. But happy doing. Happy.
Well,
This
so
is-
I
see, but this
actually.
is- go ahead.
Yeah, you want okay. Like interestingly, like I've had this discussion with because my grandmother is like immigrant. It's first generation, like born in Ukraine.
From Ukraine to Canada, she's first
Russia.
generation Canadian.
Thank you.
Russia.
My grandmother is first generation as well. So then it's like fucking very intriguing because I had this discussion with her too because she just met my grandfather at 18 and that was just fucked off. That was her life. Like that was it.
Yeah. She was okay with that. She said, "Status quo, let's get it."
Yeah, and like even she questions as like a white woman with privilege was like, did I ask enough questions? Like, did I do everything I wanted to do? Like, even now, she's in her 70s. She's in her 70s, and even now she's going like, oh, like maybe I do like my alone time. It's like,
Oh,
wow.
shit.
Like, imagine, like, it was a
her,
cool,
like-
deep talk to have with her, but it's like, fuck, it took till 70
Almost
for you to figure
all
that
her
out.
life.
Yeah.
Jesus
Well,
Christ.
it's a very like the whole stigma and all the things that come with like being married and just the way that it's viewed is just so horrible because you think about let's talk about celebrity marriages for a second, right?
And how long they last? Yeah.
Right, but think about people who have been married since the 90s because there are some celebrity couples that have been together since the 90s, and think about the amount of infidelity, abuse, drug abuse, alcohol abuse, just purely like just horrible relationship stuff that they have gone through, and they have remained together. And do you know why that is? Because of social media's pressure for them to stay together and battle through and have a successful relationship.
I think it's the opposite.
It's not. Because how many times, but Raza, think about how many times people would look at like, let's say more recently, Kanye and Kim, right? She should have never married, I think his name is Chris. She was messing around with Kanye the whole entire time. She should have just went for it and just end gamed it then. But she messed around and did that whole thing, right?
Yeah.
But now her and Kanye together, they are seen as like the ideal. They're Kim Ye. They are the ideal couple. They have all these children. They have this cool house. I don't think it's really that cool. And like everybody looks at them like this great ideal couple. But Kanye is going through extreme emotional and mental turmoil right now. Getting divorced. It's half in the media, half out of the media. But do you know how many people are like tearing them apart for getting divorced? And like, look, I am not a Kim stan. I don't love her. I don't think she's great. But do you know how many people are blaming her for their divorce and not looking at the fact that like he has done a lot of things that would cause her emotional turmoil, which would eventually end up in a divorce? Like, like you can't. But there's always this pressure. Like the woman has to put up with it. She needs to suck it up. Cheating is a part of a relationship. You need to just learn how to get past it and move on and like continue a relationship. Which is like cheating is not a part of a relationship, people. It is not. It's not a hurdle. It's not like a cute thing that you. Yeah, no, you don't. No.
I know it's wrong, but it is a modern like that's now a thing. I hate it.
It's
but
the
it's a thing.
temptation of the modern era. It's like the shits is a swipe away. Before you would have to be infidelity to do the infidelities. You would have to like sneak out and go to the bar and do all this shit.
Now
but now
I can just go out in broad daylight and be like, I want to put my thing in that.
Okay, listen to me.
Sorry.
You know the real. No, you don't need to apologize. Those Real Housewife shows, like Real Housewives of Atlanta or Real Housewives.
I'm watching the Real Housewives
right?
of India right
Yeah.
I mean, okay, that's fine. So you understand, right? So there was a clip. I don't know which TV show it was. It was a Real Housewives of something. And this wife actually said, said this on national television, okay, where people are going to watch it of all different ages and all different lifestyles, and said that she believes that it's okay if he cheats respectfully.
Oh, yeah.
So if he uses a condom, keeps his hose in check, and is where he's supposed to be when he needs to be there, and he pays all the bills and provides, he can cheat respectfully.
It's like those type of okay. I know.
I'm sorry, but that is not. There is no cheat respectfully. I'm sorry. You step out, get out.
So in my thing, that's my commentary in that being the hippie was then you just need to have more of the 2021 discussion of like, there isn't cheating respectfully, but clearly if you're okay with him fucking around and well, as long as things are taken care of, you should have a discussion about your relationship dynamic.
Yeah, maybe that. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so here's another thing too. So the whole concept of polyamory or multiple marriages or open relationships, right, is so taboo. And if you have a relationship like that, everybody wants to judge you, put opinions on you. They're like, oh, you're just glorifying cheating or whatever the case they want to, whatever label they feel to put on it at the time, right? If she's genuinely comfortable with having some form of a polyamorous relationship, then why don't you just say that? Like, why don't you just, it's already so taboo. Why don't you make it less taboo? Just say, that's the relationship we have. What's the problem? It's not yours. Mind your business.
I think it's because of the label of having an open relationship.
Exactly.
And being open about it. Yeah.
Right. Because the reality is she don't want no open relationship. She doesn't actually like that. That's not actually what she wants. She doesn't believe he's cheating respectfully. She's disrespected. She's embarrassed. And her friends and family and people know he's cheating because she's obviously aware of it because she's been told in some way. So it's like, you don't actually accept it. You're trying to mask your opinion and your feelings to everyone by saying, if he cheats respectfully, it's okay. I don't care if you wear 12 condoms. Your ass cheated on me. Pack your shit and get out. Like I don't know you.
And we as a society have kind of preachy we have fucking normalized.
Right.
Like the movie that's coming to mind right now is that Owen Wilson one and fucking I forget the other guy's name, but Jason Sudeikis in Hall Pass, where they let them go out and do things with other women for a couple of days or a week, I think, and then come back, and that's okay. Like, when we have that in the media where it's saying you're allowed to give your husband a hall pass every now and again, just do it. All the healthy, cool couples are doing it. It makes the relationship last longer, they say. But in reaction, it fucking sets up a huge...
Right. If that is a genuine dynamic that you are genuinely... If both partners are genuinely interested in that dynamic and could both mutually agree on the terms... do what you want, man.
Yeah.
But if that's not the genuine, if you're giving your husband a hall pass, you're not into it.
Yeah.
You're just trying to like appease whatever. And I mean, like, I have other opinions and I just keep them to myself. But the reality is if that's not what you want, that's not what you want. And don't make some sort of excuse by being like, this is what's popular in media right now. Like, there's so many people that I know that are like, oh, I'm in a polyamorous relationship, or I believe in multi-partners and all this stuff. And like, these are people I've known like for a very long time. And I've asked them, I'm like, oh, okay, cool, great. Like, I'm so supportive. Like, do you, boo? But like, is this really what you want? Like, are you guys really like, do you actually feel good about this? And like, a lot of them are like, no, I'm just doing it because like, I don't want my partner to leave. And like, okay, so then you're not in a polyamorous relationship.
Yeah. Then like at that point,
like,
it's just a one-sided thing. Yeah, as long if you're gonna be in an open relationship, that's fine. But both people have to be on the same fucking page and shit.
Right. Exactly.
Like that's. And I've never been in an open relationship, so I don't know. But I like human nature. That balance is always hard to find. So if homies can get that fucking like that with balance and fucking more power to
right.
shit.
So then, can I go full journalist here? And
yes.
So just to clue in to make sure I'm on track, and then for the wonderful audience, the through line here is that because of people's inability to talk about their own like sexual freedoms and wants and needs, that perpetuates violence in relationships and the media, or like how does
Am I making a connection there?
I think so. That's just what I'm trying to find the through line of this topic to our overall conversation.
Okay, so you wanna bring it back to the overall conversation, right?
We don't even have to bring it back. I'm just trying to.
let me connect it.
Let her connect it, Bailey.
But I'm gonna. I'll connect it. Okay. So to be fair, let me connect it. Right.
Yeah.
There are a lot of women who accept infidelity and other forms of things in their relationship that they should not have to accept because of media pressure. And that's related to the same thing as like the violence in media, because not that I'm saying like women are the only ones who are affected by relationship issues. There are tons of men who have been in relationships with women and they have been on the shit end of the stick. I know a couple men who have gone through things with women, and because I'm willing to have the conversation with everyone, right? But based on the way that media portrays things is that women are small, weak, and unable to form their own opinions or have any real decision making in relationships. Yeah. And that is a form of violence against women.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's in the media all the time.
It makes it fucking what's like somebody like how he said it to me, like it boils the woman as a gender to a one thing, like just one thing, whereas men can be anything, can be this colorful shit, but women are just this small encompassed thing where they have to be in because they're women, and women can't be free or can't be
it's like we've talked about this before, right? Just even in general dating, because I know like I talk to you guys a lot about like dating and sex and just life in general, because that's the conversations that we have, right? But I've expressed to you guys before in the dynamic of like when guys speak to me, the kind of things that they say to me, I'm like, are you good? Like, are you okay? Do you know who you're talking to? Because I'm not who you think I am. Like, I don't accept that. And so it's like, I'm forced to constantly, like, it's either I'm forced to like stand up for myself and be like, I don't appreciate that. Don't talk to me like that. Or if I want to like keep the friendship or like I keep things cordial, I have to accept it. Because the minute I call a man out for being gross, which I've done before, and I've said like what is wrong with you? Why are you treating me that way or talking to me that way? Suddenly I'm a bitch, I'm a prude, I'm asexual, or whatever kind of connotation they want to put on me, or they think that I'm like no fun. Yeah, you listen, the kind of things that have been said to me, and it's like, are you okay? Like, have you got like, what's my favorite color? Okay, how about you ask me that before you ask me if I want to suck your dick? Like, can we have that conversation first? Is that cool?
Movies. Movies are great.
Right, like
I have interest, man. Come on.
My purpose is not literally just sex.
Right. Yo, by the way, Wyman, before you continue, Bailey, I feel like they're gonna clip if this gets like if we get big, they're gonna go to this episode and clip everything you and I are saying out of context. They're gonna put it on social media. They're misogynists and stuff.
No, you guys are good. No, because like I think like because obviously when you're talking on like any kind of media platform, you have to be careful about the conversations you have, right? Yeah. But I've genuinely had a lot of these conversations with you guys, and I've expressed a lot of the issues that I have like in the dating world and things that I go through, and like the sort of expectation that is put on you as a woman by men on these dating apps. It's like really honestly so for myself, like I've removed myself from the dating world recently because I'm like, you know what, I'm done. I don't want to be talked to by anybody. I just need my space because I'm tired of like the way that I'm treated, and I had talked about so let me just tell you guys a little story. Okay, I was on an app and I met a guy. Super sweet, great conversation. I told him right off the hop, this is what I'm looking for. And I said, I gave him full opportunity. What are you looking for? Full disclosure, I said, I'm looking for something serious because I'm old and I don't have time. Like, I'm looking for something serious, right?
Let's be honest.
And so he responded, yeah, I'm definitely looking for something serious too. Cool. So we moved from the app to texting. No problem. We plan a date. Perfect. The day before I message him, no response. Okay, cool, whatever. You're not interested anymore. That's fine. Whatever. Then we later he matches me again on an app. And so I'm not that kind of person. I'm not a punk. So I said to him, like, what's the deal, dude? Like, you ghosted me and now you're matching me. Like, what's the beef, right? Listen.
Yes.
Listen, because no, but like the reality is like if you really are who you say, like if you are like this person you're presenting to be, like you can have this conversation. I know that I could have this conversation with you guys and you guys would be honest. But so my point is, so I said to him, like, what's the beef, right? Like, no problems if I did something wrong. Like, I'm just curious. Like, I'm on this dating world. I just want to know like what the deal is, right? So I just asked him, like, let me know like what's good. And he said to me, I have to lie to women about what I want, because if I don't tell them I want something serious, they won't sleep with me. And so I thought you were so nice and I knew that that's not what you wanted. So I left you alone.
What?
Right. So here's the best part.
It's so backwards. Like,
this has happened to me twice.
Men don't work like that. Men do not work like that.
I know, but he was literally like, I just want to have sex, and like I knew you didn't want that, and so I lied to you, and that's like, why I didn't follow through.
He's right. Men do want sex. He's absolutely right about that. But we don't go that way. We don't do it. We do it simple.
No, Raza, like the thing is, you're scared that it's that. This story that the wine mom just told us is unfortunately very common.
Right.
It's the men don't understand the through line of like clear communication. This media, the bullshit, has taught us that no, you don't ask. You need to play those games. You got to run around.
Yeah.
You got to get.
Well, and that's the thing.
You got to
like,
get that Birkin bag.
Right. And normally,
yeah.
Right. So normally I would just brush past it. But the reason why I chose to ask him about it is because we had some like really personal, intimate conversations that he initiated. Like he was like, I want to get to know you. I want to understand this. And like he was like going into it. And so that's why I was so confused as to why he ghosted me, which I was like, cool, like whatever. Like people change their mind. Maybe he met someone else. Like it is what it is. Like it's not a big deal. Right. But because he chose to rematch me, I was like, so you're going to tell me what happened then? Because like, if you want to come back in here again, like, I'm not going to take a ping pong. If you're trying to come back, like, let me know it's good. Right. But I mean, I do have to give him kudos though, because at least he did like, back. Yeah. Right. At least he was like, hey, like, I'll tell you the truth. And like, this is it. And like, I lied to you, which like, it sucks because that shows me that that's common practice by not just him, but other men on the platform. Yeah. So it's like, okay, cool. So pretty much since then I was like, I'm gonna remove. I mean, there was multiple other incidents that had happened with men sending me inappropriate pictures, even though I never asked for that. So I was just like, I'm gonna remove myself from this because it's not healthy.
Violence against women. That's one of them. The dick pics are violent. Like, that is a whole fucking like. But Jesus, like I don't know. I know that Wine Mom has some accounts that would kind of like they're on platforms where people are going to send an increased rate of these. But even if you weren't, like it's still
it happens on like it happened to me on Facebook. Like
what on
Facebook? It's connected to your like I can send your pee picture to your mommy. Like why would you do that?
Oh my God, that's
one of the last places you expect it to, because Facebook has a strict no nudity policy.
Yeah. And then like literally like yelled at me because I didn't like it. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to like block.
It's like you did it. This is art. This is art. Why don't you shitting art entire time?
Right.
I'm so, that sucks, man.
That one is the one that stumps me the most. I really despise that. Like, that makes me sick, and I have no solution other than just get mad about it. Like, how the fuck?
Yeah, you can't.
How do I teach people not to do this shit?
Right. Like, what those, like, as you guys are men who use the internet, like, does it ever go through your mind? You're like, yeah, if I send this to her, I'm in.
She's gonna love it. Yeah,
it's gonna happen for me. Like,
she's gonna dig it. Yeah. Like, I'm
like extra pessimistic. Sorry,
Yes.
Raza, and then
I've established shit with, and like one girl that I've established shit with. That's it. No one else gets that.
If I want it, I will ask you. Like, that's the thing. Is like, if I want that, I'm not shy. I'll ask you. Like, that's why it's like, why? What were you gonna say?
Yeah.
Sorry?
What were you gonna say? Sorry, what I was gonna say is, like, I don't understand. I'm extra pessimistic because I'm Mr. Photographer, so I like the male body is just like not as attractive a figure. Our bits, like, they're just not attractive bits.
Dude,
so like even
amazing. Have you seen our pecs? Look at our pec speed. Just check it.
Okay.
Check them out. Yeah.
There you go. Okay. All right. I'm feeling quite confident right now. But so, nonetheless, even if I was like, yes, my dick is the best looking dick there has ever existed. What makes you think that, like, sending said dick is like, oh, they're gonna want to fuck with this? Like, I don't understand the thought the chain of, it's like, because seeing picture equals yes. Like,
the guy thinks he's the shit, right? And girls love to see his dick, quote unquote, to see his dick. And
so, like,
blast it off.
Right.
No one likes to see a dick. That's the thing. A dick is a functional tool. No one likes to see a dick.
I don't know.
Like, I'll just say, like, any advice for any man out there who's like, do I send a dick picture or not? I'm gonna tell you right now, don't send it. And the reason why is because listen, the reason why is because she will work 10 times harder to see it in real life. So just wait it out.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Like, and we want to know, but
the reward is even better at the end, man. If you just play, like, us men shouldn't. You know what, bro? Us men should treat that like a sanctity. Like, you don't get that unless you earned it and stuff and shit like that. Like, put some respect on my name, and then maybe we can have a discussion. But until then, you ain't getting this stuff.
Well, I mean, like, I have always found that I'm way more interested in the guy who's not going to send me racy photos. Yeah. I've always felt that way because I'm like, so what do you got? Like, what you working with? Like, what's happening here? Like, do you want to hang out? Like, I'm interested because you know, like, obviously curiosity, it's human nature. Of course, you guys all want to see, you know, when you're talking to a girl, you want to see what she looks like, right? Obviously, but it's like, yes, you do. You do want to see. I'm not saying you want photos, Raza, but you want to know what's going on. So eventually, you're gonna want to know. So, like, if it's going in that direction, like, it's gonna get there. Like, just relax, enjoy it, like, have fun.
Do your little game, like dance, like do little salsa, and have a good time. We're all here. No one's going anywhere. And then the plane has landed. Then go to town.
Yeah.
Right. I like my analogies, by the way.
My whole thing is, like, you leave nothing for a surprise. Like, there's nothing for the imagination. Like, let me build it up in my head. Well, this is the thing, is, like, it's like I've said this to you guys jokingly before, but it's like, when men see, like, a naked female body, like, yeah, like, that's, like, you guys are in, like, it's cool, great, like, I like this. But for women, we're like, okay, we see it, but, like, now we're already surmising, like, how big or how small or, like, how good or how not good.
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna dissect it because it's the only thing you have for us to look at. Like, you know, that's your only sexual organ. Whereas women, like, our entire bodies to men are a sexual organ. And so it's like, there's tons for you guys to think about. But for us, it's like, okay, well, is it going to do the thing? Like, I don't know. Curious.
Could you imagine in a world if a guy takes off his shirt, the girl looking at him, gets like cartoon eyes, goes like that, and her tongue on the floor, just
Right.
like the shit that happens in Bugs Bunny and shit. That's what guys expect. That's what guys want a reaction to be at the end,
Yes.
where you to be impressed by their godlike physiques.
Yeah. I just find like I don't know how other women feel, because I know like everybody feels different and I can't speak for all women, but when I think for myself, like once everything's already established in a relationship, that's when I start to be more interested in that stuff, because then it's more fun. Whereas in the beginning it's like, okay, you've already put all your cards on the table and like
You're
now
small.
I feel uncomfortable. Yeah. Because there's been times when a guy is like, I've been talking to a guy and I like him and I think like things are going a good way, and then he sends me a picture of his Peter and I'm like, I hate it. I'm done. Like, and it's not that I hate, it's not, okay, obviously I hate that I'm getting the unsolicited photo, but then it's like I actually look at it and I'm like, I can't, I'm sorry, like I'm gonna have to bow out. Like, you've already ruined it for me now. You know,
there are men out there that will say that you.
Poor Bailey is like dying.
No, because it just hurts my brain. I want to elaborate, but like my first point of I just don't get it. Like I just have no further point other than like how does your brain get to the point of like this will equal success? Like,
it's the rat bro mindset. It was like, yeah, man, let's get these chicks. Let's fucking send their.
But
50
so
dick
even
pics
say
to
we got Wine Mom giving us a great example here, right? So that dude who they got repulsed by. Fucking, he obviously sent his.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't, because us guys.
Do you not feel shame? Does he not feel like
Bailey,
like literally 3/4 of this population went like, I didn't like your dick pic, and you still went, oh, I'm gonna send 5 more.
So us guys, like Bailey understands, guys, like our shame threshold isn't that like, it's pretty high up there and stuff, like we can take a lot. So one dick pic and you are rejecting it doesn't do much. It just says, okay, now we could send it to the other 20, right? That's how it sucks, and I'm not defending this behavior.
No,
but that's
I get
how,
it.
like our men.
So why is the fragile male ego not?
I do worry all the time.
Male ego not fragile with the peener.
What?
Well, right, like, do you not worry that she's gonna send it to all of her friends and like there goes 15 chances, like those girls don't want me.
Again, like a guy like me and Bailey, I'm starting to realize we don't think like the normal dude. I'm starting to gather, because if that happens, I've spoken to homies of mine, and if that happened, they're like, yeah, it's a fucking like even more. Like I do less of the work. It's just like more eyes are on it now. That's how guys like in my in this area where I live think. But like guys in general, like, we send one dick pic and sure it gets shared, but we don't. At the end of the day, I don't think we like it matters to us as big as it should.
Well, that's because women aren't going to shame you when your nudes get leaked. Like, women are shamed when their nudes get leaked.
100%, yeah.
We're not going to hold that against you.
It's like well, you know what?
Bruh.
Not all women.
I'm kidding.
I was talking to one of my friends who was like an ex-sexual partner, and they're dealing with a dude who's 32, and he pulled the, like, why didn't you hug me when you left move.
Oh, girl.
You stopped doing that when you turned 16.
That shit happens way farther than you think, Raza. Like, we are.
No, I know.
Unfortunately, I'm not trying to say we're fucking some saviors, but it's like, unfortunately, like, a lot of men out there are not very mature with their fucking approach.
We are, and that's why, like, sending a dick pic, like, to us, it isn't a big deal, because our maturity level isn't up there yet and shit. Like, we're like women see their pee-pee. That's how we think, right? But in like, if you were to do that, you like to send a picture and then he just does that, you would be freaking out, right? But to us, it's just like, And then the other side of that is just like, if you look at any TV show, any nude scene and stuff, the women's body parts are censored, right? The boobies are fucking. Sorry, wine mom. The boobs are. The boobies are censored, and and everything is censored. But for the dude, this part is okay, right? So slowly, our entire for men, nudity, for some reason, isn't as big as a deal on us.
If I saw a naked man, I would have been like, oh, okay, I guess he's enjoying himself. I'm just gonna not make eye contact. But if it's a woman, right? But if it's a woman, I'm like, is she okay? Is something wrong? Did something happen?
We have been conditioned to think that.
Right.
Without knowing it, you brought your point around to the free the nipple, Raza. You didn't even realize that.
Yeah, free the nipple.
Oh.
Right? Listen, so it's a very common thing, but
yeah.
No, I'm kidding. I'm part of that.
To go full conversation host, then would you feel that the hashtag free the nipple, that the fact that the male body isn't objectified the same way, does that perpetuate the sexual violence? Does that perpetuate 100%. Violence against women in general?
100%, because like anything that is behind a closed door, we want to see more of it. No matter how, we will see it how do I word it? Whatever it takes.
Yeah.
I think the issue, we're all lying to each other. We don't watch the weirdest fucking porn in our spare time. You know what I mean?
I'm not lying.
Everyone's okay. Well, there you go.
No, your point is valid. Yeah, we all watch weird stuff. Yeah.
So I just mean it in the sense of we're sitting here trying to act like a society that's conservative and that we need to censor this and that, but when it really comes down to it, it needs to be 60s hippie style sexual liberties. You should be able to just discuss. This is what I feel cozy with.
But it's also a cultural thing too.
Now we don't need any of this gross shit in between.
Right. I will say, as somebody who, my mom has been very, she's very chill. She's whatever you want to talk about, whatever issues, whatever things you want to discuss. I have no problem. The way that I talk with you guys, I talk exactly like this with my mom. I don't hold anything back. We have very open, clear conversations. And so for my growing up, even as uncomfortable as it was for me to say things, at least I knew that I could go to my mom and get an honest opinion. And I think that's indicative of my mom being a younger mother, right? But she gave me the opportunity to ask questions and understand, and if she couldn't help me, she would direct me in a direction where I could get help. And I think now we're just it's so taboo to talk about any kind of sexual things, and it's the people just
especially
I just feel so defeated about it. I just get so defeated because I'm with you guys, I don't hold anything back. I'm pretty sure sometimes you guys are okay. I just say whatever. I don't care. It shouldn't be awkward. We're friends. I want you to feel comfortable to come to me, because who else are you going to go to? You know? And I want to be able to feel comfortable talking to you guys about things. Why does it have to be awkward? Why does it have to be weird? And why does there have to be something other than a friendship that's involved? Why?
I agree.
Yeah, it's just I feel again, immaturity plays at that, because once you're at a level, you start to think that people can have conversations and not feel ashamed and stuff, because it's just you're having an intelligent conversation about stuff that's happening in society in front of you and stuff. So
exactly,
my most successful dating experiences are taking the lessons we literally learned in journalism and communication school. If you want to successfully court a partner or a woman specifically, just listen, man. Just listen. And there's so many of these toxic male situations come out of people
I do that
to force their thought and opinion on them.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, with a lot of my guy friends, like they'll kind of bring up conversations about the girls that they're talking to, and like because I've always been that person where people can talk to me. They'll talk about like their sexual experiences and like things that are happening. Then they're like kind of questioning themselves, and I'll straight up call them out and be like, "Well, you're being a fucking dicky bird. Like, hello, like do this," or like I'll give them advice. But the thing is, like, I always make it an open conversation because it's like sometimes like sex is hard to talk about and it can be uncomfortable, and if you don't take away that, like, you have to take away the taboo-ness of like having a genuine conversation, because if you think about it, just like how many men suffer with things that make sex uncomfortable for them, or they have insecurities around sex, and it's like
a lot,
men,
probably,
and men don't talk about it. But for me personally, I take pride and like I hope that the men in my life feel comfortable to talk to me about those things, because like they need an outlet as well, right? And so it's like, you know, I know we're talking about the violence against women in social media and like just stuff in general, but it's like a lot of that comes from the fact that like men are told to keep all their shit to themselves, and so they become aggressive, or they don't know how to handle things, or they don't know how to have those conversations. And it's like you have to nurture those conversations in men. You really do. Yeah,
that's something like I'm learning. I'm learning all that shit right now. Like right now. Yeah. Like. It's a big. My family wasn't overly toxic. Like they weren't like but it was like toughen up, suck it up, don't bitch. You gotta work, and we don't talk about our feelings because there's life to survive right now.
Exactly.
So I have friends. I have a friend like that, and I'm like, yeah, like I told him about my mental issue, like my anxiety problem. He's like, the brain is a very powerful thing, and I literally just stopped talking to him because the stuff he says just fucking throws me against the wall. It's just so wrong and shit like that. So like, because I spoke to him last in and stuff, because like the shit he says is like the stuff that Bailey is saying. Just like he treats this stuff as like, oh, you're just gonna get over it. Like he's like, oh, I was in jail. I was in juvie. I should be mentally, like, I should have anxiety. And I'm looking at it like, that's not how it fucking works, man.
Okay, but he definitely has it.
Yeah, or you probably do.
Emotional problems, yes.
He has some problems. He's kind of like, he acts super chill, but then once you start getting him on a certain topic, specifically about the LGBTQ, he gets fucking triggered. And then once I see that, I'm just like, you calling them triggered, yelling at me over something you started.
Exactly. Yeah, and like, you know, I met a guy when I was really young, and it was one of the first times I ever experienced a man being because I didn't grow up with my dad, so I didn't experience emotions coming from men. And so when I met this guy when I was in high school, and I've never experienced that many range of emotions in a male body before. And so he really taught me a lot about like how men experience emotions, because he was so in tune and he didn't care. He was like, I'm hurt. Like I would do something and he would tell me, you've hurt my feelings and I'm very upset. And like he would cry in front of me, and like there was no like, it wasn't like he was scared. He just was like very confident. And I'll tell you, like him expressing his emotions to me and being that way, like I thought he was like the toughest, manliest guy ever, because he wasn't afraid to be vulnerable, because he was still tough when it was necessary, but he was able to be intimate and tell me when he was experiencing things and his emotions. And I think men need to realize that like just because you express your emotions doesn't mean that you're like not tough. Like you can still be tough and have emotions.
I think society has put a very strong emphasis on that tough, where you have to be tough, where you have to stand firm, stand consistent, stand fucking like strong, hard. Stand like you have to show no emotions. You have to be strong family, strong for people. You can't falter. If you do, then you're called weak, and you're called like a woman, essentially.
Right.
Which is what happens. So.
Well, it's like, you know, I dated a guy when I was younger, and he was extremely emotionless. He didn't express any emotions whatsoever. And then as he got older, he started to experience like a lot of anxieties and stress and like some depression and emotional roller coasters within his body. Right. And I was like, do you think that maybe there's a reason that this is happening now in your adult life? Because we didn't deal with this when you were younger, and we should have dealt with it when you were younger. And and I tried very hard to always nurture that in him. And I think, like, you know, I never, ever, I can honestly say I have never, ever made him feel bad. I remember one time he was having an anxiety attack so bad that he couldn't go into the mall. And I was like, I'll do it for you. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. And like, I just remember him like constantly apologizing. Like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And I was like, I don't know why you're sorry, because I'm afraid just to even take a breath in somebody else's direction. Okay. I don't know why you're worried. Like, it's not a big deal. Anxiety is normal. Like, I don't care. Like, but it's important for you to be, especially like with a partner, it's important for you to be able to be emotionally vulnerable, because you're supposed to support each other and work through it. You know, I'm an extremely emotional person, not just in relationships, but with my friendships as well. And, you know, if I felt rejection from my friendships, like, I think that would just be horrible. I wouldn't enjoy that. Like, I appreciate that I can express myself with my friends and they understand me, you know?
Yeah.
We gotta work on that as a society, I'm telling you.
We do, because what was it? Like, we put so much emphasis trying to, as I said, trying to complete to others. Like, we have our shit going on. We want to look all together, that we make other people jealous, kind of like, holy crap, why mom looks, her entire world is like put together. She's like doing everything like a strong woman, when in reality you're dealing with problems and stuff.
It's a mess in there.
So I get that, but we aren't focused on the humanization of society. We're too much in the future, like how much we react to like dumb, like I don't know, I'm just going on, I'm just saying
I think you brought it around well. I think you did bring it around well. You just didn't have the point. And considering it's we're at an hour and 10 minutes, as the circle of the conversation, right, of it's something that we need to have a discussion about as a society, about how to talk about our emotional needs, right?
Yes.
Where is the best place to start to reduce the violence in media, as we started the conversation off with, right? We've pointed out a lot of really good situations of that's like on both male, female, and genderless points, right? What's the way? Where the fuck? What's the linchpin that helps fix things?
Right.
You know.
Right. Well, if we help men deal with their emotions, a lot of the violence would stop, because they wouldn't have to use violence to mask their emotions, and that would change a lot.
I agree. I couldn't word it better.
You know that quote where it's like, teach your daughters how to protect themselves, when in reality it's teach your sons to treat others with respect.
Correct.
That's where it should start. It should start.
Teach your sons to be self-aware. I don't know, because with respect is the one that trips me out, because like with respect is the one that I was taught, but I didn't have that emotional awareness, and quite frankly, I didn't have a dad, right? So I had to learn how to navigate all this shit on my own as well, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I got the only thing I did get was the respect part.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate on my personal experience.
Yes, Bailey, we get it. You're smart enough.
So in conclusion, basically, we full circled it to addressing human emotions in men and women will help alleviate some of the issues with violence, because then we can actually have an open discussion.
And like women becoming aggressive, like tomboyish. Is that like a reaction to men? I'm asking that as a legitimate question, because I would
say, but
we've talked about this before. And I've told you before, because I know, remember we talked about this, like, I think like a few episodes ago.
Yeah.
And you had asked me, you were like, because I told you, like, I present more masculine, like I dress like a guy, and I'm more of like a dude girl, just because that's how I protect myself from men.
Right. Okay. So it's essentially just like for sucks. That actually sucks.
Yeah, because it's that. I brought it up to Wine Mom in context of something you should look into as a case study, Ross. That's really cool in a fucked up way. It's really terrifying. But it's like in a low-income environment where it's like you have more barriers to access and you have to worry about your survival more. The female or femme population will take on like and adopt more masculine traits for their own safety and security because the environment is so toxic and masculine that they have to be more violent and masculine to survive.
Yeah.
So it's like a circle of a circle of
perpetuating toxic masculinity.
Or that, but my circle of violence, which doesn't end, and we have to get to the root cause of it to take out toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
And toxic femininity. Is there toxic femininity?
I mean, in some concepts, yes, definitely. Okay. But that's a whole nother thing to.
Yeah,
that's a whole. We'll be talking about the Real Housewives way too long if we talk about that one.
Yeah, and I'm okay with not talking about that. I'm okay with not talking about that.
Exactly.
All right, I'm gonna summarize and then we'll go to Let's Talk. Do you have another point, Wine Mom?
No, I was just gonna ask you. No. I was just gonna ask you. Are we gonna wrap up now and open the conversation and allow maybe if somebody wants a pee break or something? I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Can I give you guys I can hang out till 11.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Wine Mom, you go for the pee break, and I will do the outro right now.
Oh, no, I'm okay. I don't have to pee break. I just wanted to make sure everyone's okay, like a mom.
Okay. All right, fair enough. So what we're going to do is thank you, everybody, for coming out. This is the YouTube outro. If you're watching the stream right now, stick around. We're about to do the Let's Chat section. So this is why you watch us live. When we have these big-ass discussions, you can stick around and talk with us like literally right after we do it. Yeah. I think it's pretty cool, but I don't know. You're the viewer. So thank you for coming out. This was a sensitive topic. We hope we didn't hurt anyone's feelings. If you want to chat about the shits, send us an email and tell Raza about how dumb his face is. And thank you, everybody. My name is Bailey. You can find everything in the description for my social medias, and Raza's in the description as well. Raza, do you have anything to say before we sign out?
Thank you for watching Marching into Madness, same shit every day, weekly.
Yes.
Thank you. That came out perfectly, by the way.
All right, it's chatting time, fam.
Say anything negative about them. I have very strong opinions and views and beliefs, and it's like I've said this to you guys before, like with the Black Lives Matter movement. I don't believe that if you're not willing to stand up for something that's in relation to the people that are in your group of existence, then you don't get to have those friends anymore. So if I don't stand up for the trans community, if I don't stand up for the Black community, I don't deserve those friends anymore, because those are people that I consider to be in my realm. Like, I depend on those people, and I'm just going to let them down and not stand up for them. That's not fair.
Like, that's a heavy line to draw, but I do think I agree. Because that's...
Like, I gotta take Wine Mom's side on this, because what
about like extenuating circumstances where like, what if it puts yourself at danger? What if I'm a gay person and I can't in that situation stand up for a person of color because I might be persecuted as well?